Welcome back to the channel. Today we will recap a film called Circle, in which 50 strangers are forced to choose the only person among them who deserves to live. Spoilers ahead. Pray for the pregnant woman. A woman wakes up in a crowded room. She begins to panic. Another young man speaks up and warns her not to move and tries to calm her down. As she panics, another woman wakes up and the young man reassures them of what he knows. Suddenly, everyone wakes up and hysteria is felt in the large group. The guy yells at people to calm down, but most ignore him. Some listen. Some are killed instantly if they leave their circle. A man discovers that whoever dies is controlled by their hands, seemingly by voting who should die next. About 5 people are killed before a young man comes forward and announces that they have to kill the old people to give them 10 minutes to discuss what's going on. Elderly victims beg for their lives and cry as they are swept away one by one. A man tries to lie and says he saw wet black aliens in an attempt to buy time. The group doesn't believe him and he is killed. The man who suggested the death of the elderly takes aim at a woman with cancer, accusing her of not being 52, and other members of the group join in defending her when she says cancer or not, she will die anyway. A man says that anyone over 35 should have a problem with this man. The sound of tuning begins and the young man realizes that he will be killed, but is killed by nearly everyone in the room. People are starting to try to figure out what's going on. The woman with cancer says everyone should talk to each other and try to understand the situation. A man points out that his wife is standing next to him. Another man says he also knows someone standing in front of him. A police officer specifies that he recognizes a man who beat to death his girlfriend. Everyone asks if domestic violence is real and he admits it. He is killed after a fight with the policeman. One lady points out that they have to decide who is good and who is bad. Another man, who is black, sarcastically remarks that everyone should just kill black people. Part of the group starts yelling and arguing. The cop starts saying that black people think they deserve everything and starts getting racist. He is killed by the group. A U.S. Marine remarks that everyone wants to live, so they must all work together as they are likely to be understudy. The people decide to all vote for the person next to them in an attempt to disrupt the show. It doesn't work and a random person is killed. They try again because they think someone did something wrong. Suddenly, a bright light appears above a pregnant woman and a man who hasn't said anything yet. The man is killed. A man comments that he voted for the slain man because he saw him voting for the pregnant woman and that was the only way to stop him. The group concludes that it is a game. Another notes that the child or pregnant woman will win and everyone else has a better chance of surviving if they kill her now. The group begins to vote, but the tie is between an older Asian woman and the little girl. The little girl is spared. The group is torn between protecting the pregnant woman and the little girl or killing one of them. Voting resumes again and suddenly a man is elected in a 3-way tie behind the pregnant woman and the little girl. He is hysterical and shouts kill them both and dies. A man offers volunteers to die and asks people to come forward. For a moment, no one does until a 16-year-old boy named Sean suggests he volunteer. Another man suggests that he is just a child and shouldn't die. An elderly black man in the back suddenly says no. Sean says he still wants to volunteer. The group killed him. The Marine suddenly feels offended when people look at him and explains that he was in Afghanistan to save them and justifies why he shouldn't die. People are asking for volunteers and an elderly lady says she will. She cries and is killed. A minister explains that God is watching over the group and that he has a plan. A man starts shouting and swearing at the pastor. After the vote, a tie ensues between him and a lady who said nothing. He is killed by the group. Some suggest that people should consider whether people have families and that people without children should come forward and volunteer. Voting resumes and while a man tells a woman about himself, a girl who said she was just a child is killed. A woman says she is gay and has been picked on by the man who told the group about himself and she says the woman has sinned and is not worth dying for. Man says being gay is wrong. The man is killed by the group. No one votes in the next round. A man who has spoken much earlier begins to wonder if the pregnant woman is a good person. He states that she might not be a good person and asks where the father of the child is. She's nervous and he keeps asking her questions. The melody begins to sound and people seem to ignore it. A random man is killed. A black man who has spoken out multiple times asks the same man whether or not he is a good person and what job he has. He answers and says he is a banker. He insists he is a good person, as he donates to charity and lends people money to help them. But others aren't so convinced when a lady, a graduate student, mentions the potential salary he earns. He gets angry and asks the graduate what she is doing. She answers. Then she starts whispering in another language to a man who doesn't speak English. She is killed by the group. People are starting to say there are signs and cracks in the group are appearing as there are fewer and fewer people left. A man takes matters into his own hands and says that the good side must protect the pregnant woman and the child. People are confused. A bond is established between the man, who does not speak English, and the child. He sacrifices himself to save her. A dispute ensues between the sailor and the banker. The Marine says the banker would kill a child to save his own life and is disgusted. The banker explains that he wants to live and that he will see what the Navy will do in the end. He is angry and starts shouting at the group that they have to kill the child and the pregnant woman. People start arguing over the signs and the banker starts shouting loudly. One group says they would vote for the child and another says they would vote for the banker. A tie ensues and the banker is killed. A man says everyone should vote for the man with one arm who was in favor of saving the child and the pregnant woman because that would spread things up. The guy gets killed. The Marine says the couple, husband, must die. As the man panics that he will trade his wife for himself, the Marine suddenly tells everyone to vote black. A man laughs and says true love conquers all and shouts that everyone committed suicide. He says they're probably not married and they lie just to survive. People interrogate the couple with questions like, what's his birthday? What's his parents' names? A lady asks what her husband's name is, and the group realizes that she has already said his name. But the woman doesn't answer. The group realizes that the two are lying and admit it. Both accuse each other of starting the lie first, but the group kills the man. The same man who accused them of not being married says he can help keep her alive and she shouldn't have lied. The Marine intervenes, claiming he's just trying to use it. The woman agrees to join the side that wants to kill the group. A man remains silent when asked which side he is on. The gay woman is played with her emotions by the man who tries to assemble a gang to kill the pregnant woman and the baby. There is a tie between 5 people. Everyone dies. Marine, lady with cancer, the woman accused of being a porn star, and one at random, except the head of the evil side. He tries to get the pregnant woman to vote against the baby, but she says she won't. 6 people are left behind after a man apologizes to the pregnant woman and sacrifices himself. It is now an even state of mind. People start voting, but a man refuses and the lady who lied about her marriage dies. The 2 remaining men question the man who did not vote. The group decides to vote him out and the leader of the evil side agrees. Suddenly he realizes he's been played and is killed. The good man, the pregnant woman and the child realize that they must vote for the old man. He is killed. With only the man, pregnant woman, and baby left, they begin to say it was probably a get-to-know-each-other experiment. The little girl says she will go and the woman starts crying. She says he is very brave of her and they go together. The voting buzzer starts going and he yells at her to go. She steps out of her circle, but the man also chooses the pregnant woman to die. He sighs in relief. The sounding beep sounds again and he starts screaming, thinking he's going to die anyway. A connection forms between him and the baby that lies inside the dead pregnant woman. He chooses the baby to die and the screen goes black. The guy wakes up on concrete. He looks up at some kind of spaceship and sees many of them floating around. She walks for a while and sees a group of people watching them. He looks at a huge spaceship in the sky with them.